what is the scope of litigation and what is the scope of judiciary. So what do you understand? What is the meaning of scope is? For our purpose, I would like to define the scope as the opportunities. So what are the opportunities that is available in litigation? Before going into that question, let us ask ourselves this question: what is litigation? Once you get enrolled as an advocate, you are entitled to appear on behalf of your client. Your client will execute a wakalatnama or power of attorney authorizing an advocate to defend the interest of your client before the court of law. So this is what the litigation is. So you fight for the interest of your client before the court. Now what is the meaning of judiciary? Judiciary, a high court judge or a supreme court judge or even a district court judge, once you sit there as a judge, what is your duty? Your duty is to render justice, punish the wrongdoers, provide justice to the victims. In short, I am saying this. So this is what the understanding of the topic for today. And now going into the scope of litigation and judiciary, I would like to give two examples, a living example, one who had led the life and achieved the pinnacle in the legal profession. He was a great luminary, a great orator, a prolific writer, who worked during his lifetime to preserve and protect the constitution. It was none other than Nani Palkhivala. So let us introspect, let us examine his life, how he had led his life to understand the scope of litigation. Mr. Nani Palkhivala was born in a middle class family. His father or relatives did not belong to this legal profession. His father ran two laundries, but it was very popular at that time because of his service, because of his customer care. So they had three children and Nani Palkhivala was the second. He was studious, sincere from his childhood days, and he loved to read many books. He loved the company of books. But he had a problem from his childhood, dear friends. He had a problem of stammering. Whenever he used to speak, he used to get stuck with words. At times he could not even complete even a single sentence. But having understood his handicap about stammering, his father used to take him to the beach and ask him to shout by standing in front of waves, by which he could rectify the problem of stammering. And he did not sit at home. He tried to participate in debates, in competitions, and tried to secure first place. So by which he overcome the stammering problem. Then he studied, after his matriculation school, he joined St. Xavier's College and he pursued BA English Literature. After that, he wanted to be a faculty in a local college. He made an application for that, but application was rejected on the ground that he had no previous teaching experience. Thereafter, after seeing the first failure, that he wanted to be a faculty but could not succeed, that was his first failure, but he did not sit idle at home. He even applied for MA English Literature. Then he studied successfully. Thereafter, Mr. Palkhivala's wife wanted Palkhivala to be a member of Indian Civil Service in 1940s. So therefore Mr. Palkhivala wanted to apply for ICS. So for that he had to travel from Bombay to Delhi, because the center, everything was in Delhi. But in those years, 1940s, there was epidemic declared in Delhi and several deaths happened. Therefore, parents of Palkhivala advised not to go to Delhi. Therefore, he did not submit his application form for ICS. But later on, what happened? The last date of submission was over, but the government declared the center will be in Bombay, not in Delhi, because of epidemic. But that was too late for him to submit once again. So even he wanted to become a member of ICS, Indian Civil Service, he could not do that. So stammering was a problem. He wanted to become faculty, which he could not succeed. He wanted to be a member of Indian Civil Service, which he could not do that. But still, there was some unforeseen force that steered Mr. Palkhivala to enter into the legal profession. He did not come with determination. It was a mere accident by which he entered into Government Law College, Bombay. But since we have seen from his childhood days that he was studious, sincere in studying, so he studied well and stood first in Government Law College. Thereafter, he got enrolled himself as an advocate. Now, the big question generally stares at anyone's face, stared at Mr. Palkhivala's face also. What to do after enrollment as an advocate? So he wanted to choose the litigation. So he chose the great chambers, that is chambers of Sir Jamshedji Kanga. He was the great leader of the bar, Bombay bar, and he was the then Advocate General for State of Maharashtra for several number of years. So he joined there, Mr. Kanga's office. So he used to assist Mr. Kanga before Bombay High Court. Then he went even before income tax appellate tribunals, and he picked up his career. And Mr. Kanga chamber was known for producing legal luminaries in the legal galaxy like Mr. Fali Nariman, Mr. H.M. Seerboy. These were the juniors of Mr. Kanga. So he practiced very well and he became an expert in constitutional law and became an expert in income tax. Thereafter, dear friends, this is one facet of Mr. Palkhivala. Simultaneously, he wanted to write a book on income tax. See, he wrote a commentary, Kanga and Palkhivala, Law and Practice of Income Tax. He released a book and it was sold out very successfully. But the problem that was created in Madras, that was Mr. A.C. Sampath Iyengar. He was an advocate in the Madras High Court and he also wrote a book. He also wrote a commentary on income tax that was released even before Mr. Palkhivala's book release. So, Mr. Sampath Iyengar filed a suit before the Honorable High Court of Madras against Mr. Kanga, against Mr. Palkhivala on the ground that they have copied my substantial portion of my commentaries. They have infringed copyright. Therefore, his prayer, Mr. Sampath Iyengar's prayer before the Honorable High Court was to grant degree of injunction, injuncting Palkhivala from publishing this book in future, and also claimed for damages that he had to compensate. So this was a claim made by Sampath Iyengar before Honorable High Court of Madras against Mr. Kanga and Palkhivala. But ultimately, the court found that there was no copying business done by Mr. Palkhivala, and he wrote everything on his own. It was his original work. There was no violation of any of the copyrights. Therefore, the suit was dismissed. Dear friends, from this story what we learn? Writing an article is itself a difficult job. But here a person wrote a book, dedicated his several years for writing that book. Book was released, successfully sold, but still the problem continued by filing a suit against him. He never lost his energy. He retained that energy, positive energy. He entered into the witness box and he was cross-examined. Finally, he won his case. Therefore, we may face problems in every attempt, but it is success means failure from moving from one failure to another failure without losing enthusiasm. This life is full of pain, failures, miseries, but still we should have courage to travel from one failure to another failure without losing enthusiasm that will lead us to success. This is what the success definition given by Abraham Lincoln, the former president of United States of America. Same thing applicable to our Palkhivala also. He never lost his enthusiasm. So this was the one facet of Palkhivala as a prolific writer. Now let us look into the next aspect. What made him immortal? He died in the year 2002, but we are in 2021. After 14 years, why should we discuss about him? The main reason is he had appeared in a very, very important case. He appeared before a 13-judge bench, which was the largest bench ever constituted in the Honorable Supreme Court. And it was the lengthiest argument that was made before that court, touching upon the various laws, legal literature. That was a case, I hope you all know that. Keshavananda Bharati case versus State of Kerala. 13 judges bench. What was the issue involved in that case? There were several issues, but the core issue that was involved in the case was whether Parliament can amend the Constitution under Article 368 or not. Can they amend? Can they alter the entire Indian Constitution or not? That was an issue before 13 judges bench. The Honorable Supreme Court held that, of course, Article 368 empowers the Parliament to alter, amend the Indian Constitution, but without disturbing or without damaging the basic structure of the Indian Constitution. So the doctrine of basic structure that was propounded by Mr. Palkhivala, accepted by the honorable judges, by which the entire democracy got saved. Otherwise, assuming, dear friends, if they had said yes, Parliament has the power to amend even the basic structure also, the Parliament may enact a law tomorrow and can say that after 60 years nobody should live in this country. And if it is challenged before the court, court may very well say, see, they have got the entire right, therefore Article 21 can be taken away. They can say that. So this was, this will lead to a complete lawlessness in the society. Therefore, the Honorable Supreme Court rightly said, the Parliament has the power to alter the Constitution without damaging the basic structure. And they did not define what is basic structure. They said it is exhaustive. The judiciary depends upon the case to case. We will tell you what is the basic structure. But in Keshavananda Bharati case, they said preamble is the basic structure of the Indian Constitution. Federal structure is the basic structure. The separation of powers, that is legislature, executive and the judiciary, are the basic structures. And today, right to privacy is implicit in Article 21. In Maneka Gandhi's case, Article 14, 19, 21, has become a basic structure of the Indian Constitution. So, having appeared in this case, in this historic case, and won and saved the Constitution as well as the democracy in the country, Mr. Nani Palkhivala had achieved the status of immortality. And as far as this legal profession is there, definitely his name will be remembered by all the students, by all the lawyers, by the entire legal community. So this was the facet of Mr. Palkhivala. Now moving on to the next scope, that is scope of judiciary.